for spending time on Toastmasters meeting at the beginning of the weekend. This is Tolapan, Sergeant at Arms. Meeting etiquettes to be followed in Toastmasters meeting are switch off or put your mobile on silent mode. Move only when you hear applause. Refrain from talking about SRP. Corporate people, don't think too much. It is not strategic resource planning, sex, religion, and politics. I was working with waterproofing company. We do waterproof for residential and commercial buildings. It consists of long process, like 7-day process for doing waterproofing methodology. In reality, client make us to complete the work in 3 to 4 days. This leads to water seepage in many buildings. In Bangalore, there are more than 30% of newly constructed buildings has this problem, and most of their top floors are vacant. This is because of their impatience in the work. This leads to their company bad reputation and customer dissatisfaction. As the team hold one horse says, be patient. Don't take decision in haste. Marriages are made in heaven. I am introducing a person who went through more than 100 profiles during his marriage and patiently waited and found his perfect soulmate. Please let me help in welcoming Chartered Account Trainer and President of our club, Toastmasters Shashank Bhatt.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. Good evening. Welcome to the legendary Bangalore Toastmasters Club.
I call to order meeting number 1386.
The minutes of the previous meeting, 1385, was shared over WhatsApp and over mail by our secretary, Toastmasters Boss. Do we have any amendments on the same?
No. So I pass the minutes of meeting 1385.
How many first-time guests do we have amongst us? Can I see a show of hands? Okay, so can you please stand and introduce yourself quickly to the audience?
Yes, my name is Tanmay Chatterjee. I'm born and brought up in Kolkata. Just moved here. It hasn't even been a month for work. I work in finance. I have been working in finance for 2.5 years. And I wanted to join Toastmasters Club by referral from a friend who lives abroad, and delighted to see all of you and meeting each other. And obviously, we'll be delighted for the rest of the journey. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
My name is Shaji. I'm from Bangalore. I've known Toastmasters for a very long time, but it was my first meeting. Happy to be
Welcome. Yes, sir.
Good evening. I'm Digu Abraham. I knew this is Toastmasters about 3 years back. I just want to be part of it.
Anyone else? Any other first-time guests? Yes.
Hi, my name is Sanjay, and I'm a software engineer, and I recently moved here in Bangalore 2 months back, and I didn't know about anything about Toastmaster. My friend have introduced me, so I'm here for the first time with him.
Members, once again, how do we welcome all our guests? For the benefit of the guests, Bangalore Toastmasters Club is the second oldest club in India and the largest Toastmasters Club in this district, constituting Bangalore and some bit of Kerala as well. At Bangalore Toastmasters Club, as most of you would have seen, we have a very friendly atmosphere as well. There is no ego, there is no superior, inferiority. All of us are like a family here. Speaking of family, you may have heard a story similar to the one which I am going to tell you about. A couple who had a 2-year-old child wanted one more companion for that child. So they brought in a mongoose as a pet. Weird, right? One day, when they left the mongoose and the child at home, just to play, hang around, they went to the market to buy some groceries, to run some errands. When they came back, they saw blood on the mongoose's mouth. What do you think as soon as you think of this? The child is in danger. Without second thought, the husband and wife started throwing things at the mongoose, hitting the mongoose, killing it on spot. A bad decision, they thought, bringing mongoose in. When they walked in to see the condition of the child, they were surprised to see the child was normal, but there was a snake lying on the floor. Without even thinking of what could have happened, they jumped the gun, and now, what is the point of regretting? Can they go back and undo what was done? It is always better for us to hold our horses. Just think, sit back, then take action. Because any action taken at haste, you may live to regret later, and that time will not come back to us. We have amongst us someone who again was planning big things in life, but decided to take one step back, take it one step at a time, and a very successful person as of now. At a very young age, he climbed the corporate ladder, and now he is the strategy manager at a company called Data Hash. Please put your hands together to welcome the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Aditya Srivastava.
Good evening, dear Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
How are you feeling this evening? Great, amazing. Bindas? Yes? Are you all excited to get started with the meeting number 1386 of Bangalore Toastmasters Club? Yes. Can I get a round of applause? Hold your horses. The theme of today is hold your horses. When I was reflecting on this particular theme, there have been a number of stories that we have been hearing from our childhood. But recently I came across a book called Chatter. The full name of the book is Chatter, The Voice in Your Head, How to Harness It and Use It for Your Benefit. Guys, how many of you talk to yourself? Anybody who doesn't raise a hand is lying. We talk to ourselves probably way more than we talk to anybody else. There's a very fun statistic given in this particular book. Like a human being talks to themselves 3 times more the way they talk to some other person. While we have been taught through years of religious literature and Buddhism that we find God within ourselves, we find peace within ourselves. This particular book specifically talks about not going inside when you are in times of turmoil. The reason is very simple. I'm going to quote a personal incident around this. How many of you are aware of the mental health issues of depression, anxiety? How many of you have heard this term spiraling? Mental spiraling it is a state where you start with a simple premise of something going south and you end up over-exaggerating, overestimating a particular consequence, right? The incident that happened with me was this one when there was international tension going on between Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump. The Indian news channels had almost declared it, saying that global annihilation is just a push of a button away. How many of you remember this particular time? There was a lot of tension going on. There were statements coming out almost day after day, and every night I would go to sleep with this anxious anxiety within me that I might not wake up tomorrow. It might be a nuclear winter tomorrow, right? And it was specifically when I read this book is when I realized that, you know what, at times you need to just switch off your brain. It is in our own betterment, it is for our own particular good, is when we take a small hiatus from, letting your horses run wild in your head. We all are smart human beings. We all are definitely smart human beings, and we know how to connect patterns and keep on building on it, and that at times kind of puts us in tricky situations. So, dear Toastmasters and guests, I am requesting you to hold your horses and take a small hiatus for the length of the session while you enjoy these beautiful speeches today. The format or the stage has been set not today but almost 99 years ago when Toastmasters as an organization came into existence. The first Toastmasters meeting was conducted on October 22nd, 1924, and we are almost a year away from making a centenary, right? Every Toastmasters meeting through its time beginning across even today in global formats have the same format. Today, what you should be expecting are 3 different segments. We'll start with prepared speeches, where individual Toastmasters, in coordination with their mentors, have written down text which they'll be delivering and sharing it with you today, followed by a table topic session. It's an extempore session where you have about a minute or two with a topic given at hand, letting your horses run wild. And lastly, we'll have an evaluation session, because you can speak, but it is only when you hear is when you learn. So we have a brilliant GE with us today. She's a life coach trainer, and when I asked her, like, ma'am, when was the time you had to hold your horses, she gave me a very fun answer. She's like, whenever my son does anything annoying, I just ignore it. Like, because he's gonna literally do the opposite of what I'm expecting for him to do. So welcoming the GE for today's session, DTM Sumitra. Can I have a big round of applause? Thank you, ma'am. A general evaluator is often helped by a tag team. TAG is an acronym which stands for timer, R counter, and a grammarian. And the timer for today is a student of mathematics and computer science from Christ University. When I asked him when he had to hold his horses, he said one time Aditya was standing in a line for dosa at CTR Malleshwaram, and it was an hour's long worth of wait, but I held my horses because I wanted the dosa. So welcoming the timer for today's session, Toastmaster Taran.
As a timer for today, my time record duration of the entire meeting and its individual parts. For today's meeting, the speeches are 5 to 7 minutes long. So I will show the green card at the 5-minute duration, yellow card at the 6, and the red at the 7-minute duration. At the end of the meeting, I will give my report to the general evaluator, Toastmaster Sumitra, and then after that I'll submit the records to the club secretary to become a part of the permanent record. Thank you.
Thank you. The R counter for today is a mathematics teacher, so we should be just not worried about counting altogether. When I asked her what was the last time you ever told yourself to hold your horses, it actually made me remember my maths teacher. There was a teacher called Anjana Manotra. She had a similar dilemma. It is of the people's opinion when they say that the paper was very tough. Instead of her fighting back, she let the results do the talking. Welcoming the R counter for today, Toastmaster Smita Roshi.
Good evening. This is meeting number. Is my hours distracting you? Yes. Hold your horses, ladies and gentlemen. As an art counter, I'll be listening very carefully to the vocal pauses and crutch words, and I'll be coming back with the report at the end of the meeting. Over to you.
Quickly moving forward, the last element in track team is the grammarian. The grammarian for today's meeting is an up and coming Toastmaster of Bangalore Toastmasters Club. He's a student of statistics and mathematics. And when I asked him the last time he took a hiatus altogether, he said, Aditya, I just stopped eating junk food 10 days ago. So pray for me if I keep on having this habit for a longer term. Welcoming the grammarian for today's meeting, Toastmaster Brian D'Souza.
Good evening, Toastmasters and my lovely guests. As a grammarian today, I will be recording the good usages as well as the not so good usages while you're on stage. And it's also my duty to introduce to you the word of the day, which is as told by Toastmaster Aditya, hiatus. It's pronounced hiatus. So the definition is a short pause in which nothing is happening. I googled a few examples on the net and I found an interesting one. There was a hiatus in the activities of the agency. But we all know examples, they are lovely when it's more personalized. And this week I saw in the BTMC group, there was a nice exchange of words between Toastmaster Bhavan and Toastmaster Robinson. So they used the word hiatus in a quite brilliant way. I will tell it out. Bhavana told this, I will be attending tomorrow's meeting after a 2-week hiatus. Mr. Robinson replied smartly saying, Dear Bhavana, please don't embrace hiatus again.
Thank you, Toastmaster Brian. So with that, we head into our first segment, prepared speeches. Are you all excited?
Yes.
Are you all excited?
Yes.
Hold your, just come on. Adhere to the team. Welcoming the first, before I welcome the first speaker on stage, I would like to introduce her evaluator. She is, she has been ex-president of BDMC and a person I absolutely adore. Welcoming the evaluator number 1 for the day, Toastmaster Hannah.
Very good evening to all of you. The purpose of this project is to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. The time taken is 5 to 7 minutes, and all the best to the speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster Hannah. As first speaker for the day is a business development consultant, and he could not be agreeing with the theme of the day more because he himself has taken a hiatus from his corporate journey to figure out what lays ahead and what the future holds for him. So not holding any horses back, welcoming the first speaker for today, Toastmaster Sampath Kumar, with his speech, Sweat to Unleash Your Best Version. Sweat to Unleash Your Best Version.
A good hobby will change your life. Adopting a series of good hobbies will change your destiny. Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear guests. Thank you, Toastmaster Aditya, for the nice introduction about myself. I was overweight. I overcame it with running. While I was too fat, I did not like going out of my house, except to office. Even on the weekend, I used to spend most of my time on the bed. One day, I observed one of my colleagues named Sriram stretching his muscles by twisting and turning his body. After long hours of work in the office, sitting in front of the system, I wondered and asked him how he was doing it, because I was not flexible enough to do it then. He said to me that since very long he does yoga every day. I requested him to teach me doing yoga at one weekend I went to his room. To start with, he asked me to sit on the floor comfortably. But to my shock, I could not sit on the floor. And Sriram laughed at me and said to me that, Sampath, it seems you haven't been moving your body for many years. Before you want to learn yoga, you need to move your body a lot. For that, you need to practice running. That's how I started the habit of running. One very first day, I went to the ground nearby my house, and there is my sports store, and I ran for 2 kilometers. I felt I needed to sit or I lie down because I could not run anymore. Somehow I managed to run for a few days, and I could increase my distance as well. Initially, it took 50 minutes to run just 4 kilometers. I continued running for 7 months, and I could reduce for about 8 kgs. People around me started to recognize the change in my appearance, and they appreciated. I felt myself that a different person and very energetic. I started to wake up early in the morning so that I would find out time to run. It forced me to go to the bed early in the night, because as I did not get enough sleep, I could not run regularly, because your body needs rest if you want to move your body a lot. And if you need to go to bed early, you need to have your dinner minimum of 3 hours before going to bed, and one should not eat heavy so that you would not have trouble to get enough sleep. You will have to work efficiently in your office so that you can leave your office on time. You need to be very disciplined for the complete day to have 1 hour time for your fitness activity. When you practice running, your body would tell you how much food needs to be consumed and how much quantity need to be taken and at what time should be taken. If you don't observe it, your body will not allow you to run, or the body will cause a lot of disturbance while running. Once you develop the habit of running, you will automatically regulate your food timing, food quantity, and food quality. Running doesn't mean that we can eat lot of food and consume the burn the calories. It doesn't work that way. Control over food consumption is as important as running. With my own experience, I can tell you that if you want to be in good shape, you need to be really serious about your food intake, because you do any fitness activity, it will work at the fullest if only the food intake is taken under control. It's important that one do enough stretching exercises before running, because you are on the bed for about 6 to 7 hours overnight, and you suddenly wake up in the morning and you want to run. It's very difficult to run. But after you complete your stretching exercises, you can run effortlessly. Remember, proper food, sufficient quantity of food, and enough sleep and stretching exercises are the important thing to develop your running habit. If one starts his day with running, he can kickstart his day energetically because he would feel he has accomplished a lot when he starts his day. He can work efficiently without losing his energy in his office, and he could stay very energetic even at 6 o'clock in the evening, just like he shows up in the morning. When I suffer headache or eye pain, because of I spend a lot of time in front of the system, I run for 30 minutes. Finally, after I run 30 minutes, when I sweat out, my headache and eye pain also fade away. Whenever I feel stressed or I need to take some important decision, I sit closing my eyes after running. Because after running, you can feel the stillness and calmness within yourself. I run 30 minutes, I ran 5 kilometers in 30 minutes. The best run is that I do it in 27 minutes. To conclude, we need to take care of our physical well-being. It is as important as our education, career, and family. So, I appeal to all of you that reserve adequate time for your fitness activity every day, and you will lead a healthy and happy life.
Share a copy of this speech with Phil Knight and you'll possibly get a pair of free Nike shoes. What do we give Toastmasters Sampal for such an amazing speech? The evaluator of the second speech is a legendary Toastmaster, somebody whom I very eagerly look up to, and he's a crown jewel of BDMC. Welcoming the second evaluator for today, DTM Rajdeep Mandwani. I request someone to read the guidelines on the ground.
Good evening, everyone. The purpose of this project is to practice applying feedback and serve as a speech evaluator during the club meeting. Timer, please note, timing is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker. Thank you.
The second speaker for today is again a legendary DTM. It's like a DTM versus DTM kind of a situation. When I asked this guy, sir, when was the last time you had to hold your horses or possibly take a hiatus? He had the same answer. So he's a legendary trainer in the field of service excellence and business development, and he wrapped up his business operations abroad and came back to India right before COVID. So he had to stay mum for the length of COVID for the business environment to open up again. But I'm very glad that COVID went away and we are getting this person on the stage tonight. Welcoming the second speaker for today, DTM Gangadhar Krishna.
When life shows you a purpose and it prepares you with action, you really don't need to prepare your speech to deliver it. Good evening to all Toastmasters, guests. Good evening. In Dubai, it is a potpourri of over 200 nationalities and cultures working there. I was there for a good 30 odd years. I was fortunate enough that I could interact and rub shoulders with quite a few of them. Having done that, I also had an insight in the sense of where an Indian belongs in the global arena. And personally, I felt, included as a comparison, Indians work very hard, but not smart. Let me give you an example. There was this huge, famous hypermarket in all over UAE, all over Middle East. It's also there in India. The owners of which are from south of India, to be precise, Kerala. And whenever I used to go to the hypermarket, I noticed people in the front line handling the cash counter, handling customer service were those from the Far East. Because English was a native language for them. So they were more comfortable with that. Whereas those people who were at the back end, logistics, operations, supports, were from India or Asia, and quite a few from Kerala again. Because by nature, you're more timid or maybe shy. This led me thinking, I said, there must be few who you can bring out and get them, train them towards getting better and hone their skills and getting smarter and working and progressing. Keeping that aside, in Toastmasters, to get my Distinguished Toastmaster badge, I had to complete a HPL project, which is the High Performance Leadership Project. Usually Toastmasters conduct an event, blood donation drive, or maybe coach a club. I thought, what exactly could I do? Make a difference, have a purpose for that. The only thing I knew was talk and train in the area of customer service. But how could I take that forward? Then I thought there are lots of people there who need training, but the companies don't send them. Neither can they afford the cost of such trainings. Why don't we start, or I start doing something about that? So I visited the Indian Consulate in Dubai. They couldn't help me much. However, the help I got from them is they put me on to one of the NGOs there, which takes care of blue-collar workers with their activities, weekend, lots of other, to keep them busy, basically. These blue-collar workers were those who were working like helpers, messengers, delivery boys, but with their attitude and the way of working, they had been growing up with and in the projects that the NGO was handling. So they were called project managers. So when I visited them, they said, why don't you train our project managers in customer service? I can do training in English and in Hindi. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. And we decided to take up my 7 modules, which is sales heaps and service reaps, and conduct those programs over 7 Fridays for 3 hours. And it went off very well. We could give them the certificate, and I had completed my HPL project. Now, having done that, I said it should not be stopping there. There should be something more I can do. So I said, why don't I continue this if I can and look for places where I can do trainings free of charge? It's basically give back to the community what you got from it. And that's when I coined or I started the program called My PSR. It's basically give time, get happiness. So the idea behind that was to continue doing this. But sadly, COVID struck and to hold my horses and lie low. Take a hiatus. And now that I have come here, I wish to continue doing this My PSR program. And so I ask anybody and everybody, you know of a company which has a CSR, which resonates with my thinking? I don't mind going ahead and doing it on, let's say, Sunday mornings or 7 Sundays, and then continue doing that. Or community, people who need these kind of trainings. End of the day, customer service is not rocket science. And I can do it in 2 languages. I speak English and Hindi and Malayalam and Tamil as well, but not trained. So I said, why not? So I'm looking out to see if I can continue my PSR. That's one aspect. The second is, I urge each and every one of you here, you've been fortunate to have been having a good education, come here, have some certain sense of confidence. There are so many out there who are not so fortunate. Introspect. If you think there is something which you knew with is a strength, try and tap that. Look for people who might be thirsting for what you want to impart. When you kick the ball, you will find. It's a question of doing that. And then you would have started your own MyPSR program. And we can make a world of a difference as you try and educate and make the community a better place. It is said, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish and you feed him for a life. Do think, help, and thank you very much. Back to the Toastmaster today.
What do we give DTM Gangadhar Krishna for such a stage speech? Quickly moving forward to the final show for the night. The evaluator of the third speech is Toastmaster Sudipta Ghosh. I request him to read out the guidelines.
Thank you, Aditya, and good evening to fellow Toastmasters and guests. Good evening. Purpose of this speech is essentially about incorporating technology into your speech, and specifically about using slides to enhance and support your speech. Thank you. This is 5 to 7 minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sudipto. The final speaker for the night is an entrepreneur who strongly believes in the idea of building slowly and sustainably. When I asked him about holding one's horses, he said, Aditya, I build my habits very slowly over time. And if I need to ever take a hiatus, as once upon came a situation when his business was not doing so well, he did take a prompt hiatus, went out to Bangalore for a couple of months and came back with a fresh lot of ideas to restart his work with a new rigor. Welcoming the third speaker for today, Toastmaster Jeevan RK.
Hold the horse.
It's on, it's on.
Good morning, sir. Am I speaking with Jeevan RK?
Yes, very good morning. My name, who is this?
I am Neha from KTL. Congratulations, sir. Citibank has approved a 70,000 rupees credit card limit as you are one of our prime customers.
My dear Toastmasters, raise your left hand if you have heard this cold calls in your daily basis. What was your answer to that? What is your reply for the cold call?
I disconnected.
I say, I'll call you back.
I am not interested. Vaishnav luck for your future.
But I accepted the credit card offer. Ladies and gentlemen, very good evening.
Good evening.
After 2 days, I got a call from the Paytm representative to verify my address proof, followed by credit card delivery within a week. A student just graduated from the college with no salary slip. Citibank has approved 70K credit limit in my name. I was so happy. With this happiness, I was scrolling Instagram and came across had 3 hours business breakthrough workshop with free lunch. Free lunch. I registered for the meeting. I went to the 5-star hotel
which is being organized by one of the coach, sat there and learned so many new things which I couldn't do in our college days, and felt so happy. And had lunch also. At the end of the session, they started promoting 3 days full training program, cost 33,000 rupees. For the time I went back to my college days, paid 45,000 for 1 year of MCom at Christ College. This person is charging 33,000 for 3 days. Audience, what will be your?
I accept it.
What will be your reply to that sales? But I enrolled for it with my new companion, Citi credit card. For the 3 days, I enjoyed sitting at a 5-star hotel with 3 days different lunch, with 3 days new learnings, writings. I didn't do during my MCom, but I did everything on that day because I paid 33,000. Felt so happy, and I was heading back to home. Again, I saw the Instagram ad. This time, I saw the Shah Rukh Khan. No, Hrithik Roshan. Telling, fitness is not a choice, but it's a need. Okay? At the end of the video, go to the nearest cult center, do your first workout. I didn't feel like saying no to him. As a business enthusiastic, again, with my new companion, I bought 90 days free 90 days personal training program cost 25,000 rupees. On 21st June 2020, I got a message from Citibank. Dear Jeevan, the statement for credit card number 199 has generated rupees 57,000 rupees. Minimum due 25,000 rupees. Due date 10th July 2020. To view the statement, go to www.citibank. Terms and conditions apply. By the time I saw the bill, I begin to nervous within me. Because how do I repay in less time? As the due date neared by, I realized that 3 days business workshop which I enrolled in, the 25,000 rupees 90 days personal training program which I subscribed was not a need at all at that particular point of time. But because of my companion, a wrong companion, I enrolled into it. Ladies and gentlemen, I made a decision. This situation will never occur in my life once again. So, did I stop scrolling Instagram ad? No. I developed a strategy which made me to reduce my 95% of credit card bill in the next month onwards. Do you want to know what is that?
Yes.
I just kept alphanumeric password and forget it. By unlocking all the transactions at Citibank website. Let me tell you a next story. This time Amazon attracted me with 20,000 rupees offer at one of the model iPhone. Felt very happy. Let me buy. I use my credit card again. But This time, transactions didn't happen because I blocked all the transactions at the Citibank website. To reset it, it takes a lot of time, which killed my patience level. By end of the day, I didn't bother with iPhone. So, ladies and gentlemen, whenever you get call from Neha or Soumya for credit card offer, think about whether it's needed, because any mishap in the finance takes years of your life to resolve it. Thank you.
Just a small tip for Toastmaster Jeevan. There's a service called D&D you can get enabled on your carrier. You won't get these calls at all. But what do we give Toastmaster Jeevan for such an amazing educational session? Dear Toastmasters and guests, with that we come to the end of the first segment called Prepared Speeches. We'll be taking a very short break of 5 minutes. It's 7:16 in my clock. We'll be back at our seats at 7:21. You are free to network. Okay. Now comes the segment where we have to defy the theme of the day, because it's a segment where you'll have to literally run your horses in your head, and you have to keep on blabbering up until the timer for today shows the red card. Conducting today's table topic session is a Toastmaster who's been a Toastmaster for over a decade. He has also been a sales corporate professional for over 2 decades. And when I asked him about when was the last time he took a hiatus, he shared a reason which I believe has happened to almost all of us, where having had lost a loved one, you need some time to calm yourself down and gather your thoughts, right? And it's exactly when he took a hiatus when his beloved mother passed away. But it's not a sad day or it's not a sad segment. We are coming back to the table topic section. Welcome the table topic master for today, Toastmaster Sheesh Kumar.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aditya. A man in Kolkata walked into a showroom and asked the sales lady, "Can you show me some shirts?" Then she asked, "Are you a Bengali or a Punjabi?" So the man asked, "How does that matter?" He said, "If you are a Bengali, I will show you shirts. If you are a Punjabi, I will show you shorts." Shorts. So when the theme was announced, like hold one's horses, I thought whether it is horse that is the real horse or the horse the sound, right? That's when I came to this joke. So jokes apart, welcome everyone to the table topic session. And for the benefit of the guests, this, unlike the previous session, which was a completely prepared speech, the Toastmaster or the speakers come on stage and speak without any preparation. So the normal time is 1 to 2 minutes, but because of time constraints, we will limit to 1 minute today. So to begin the first round, I need some experienced Toastmasters. So I call a few Toastmasters at the same time to the stage. I want the distinguished Toastmaster Vijay Anand. Yes. Toastmaster Puneet Sinhala. Toastmaster Melvin. Toastmaster Jose Paul. And Toastmaster Sharma. Please. Yes. No, not in 1 minute. 5 minutes. Yes, we'll get enough time. So I think one more Toastmaster I called up. Puneet Sinhala. Okay.
Again, I have this.
I think Kamesh can join. So please. Yes. Give a round of applause for the Toastmasters. I'm going to tell a story for 30 seconds. Then I will pass the buck to the Toastmaster. They have to continue the story from where I left out. And each Toastmaster will get about 60 seconds. So timer, please help me. Why? Okay, you know that. Yes. Okay. So someone suggested me that the best way to grow yourself is to read books. So I went to Amazon and ordered a few books. I paid about 1,000 rupees for the entire books. After 2 days of waiting, the Amazon guy delivered a carton at my house. But the carton looked heavy and weighty, heavy. So with so much of curiosity, I said, it can't be books. So with so much of curiosity, I slowly opened the carton. And what I saw is I was almost popped out, like a man hanging down from a cliffhanger, holding on to a little daisy. My eyes almost popped out.
The last word, master.
Daisy. Little daisy.
Daisy.
So as usual, I am very fond of a reading book, and I normally order the book online. But to surprise, when I interacted with my few of the colleagues, I ordered a book which is called 13 Things the Mentally Strong People Don't Do It. And I was so excited, and when it arrived, I really surprised to see that it is nothing but it is the big purse of for my wife. But I was keep on wondering, what is the substitute? How this thing has happened? And I'm to be surprised that there is certain goof up has happened, not from the Amazon, but from my wife.
Okay, hold your horses. You are running away. I'm just telling you, there's always been humor in my life. About 40 years ago, I mean, I'm just about that age. So 40 years ago, in Mumbai, in a beach, when I saw this theme, hold your horses, I remember in the beach, I was put on a horse with bathroom slippers, sitting on the horse. Oh my God, it was terrible. Because that fellow said, hey, chalo, and I was hanging on to the horse. That's the time I literally had to hold on to my horse. So, it comes to life when you talk about holding on to your horses. You don't have to read it in books, you can see it in your life. That you have to hold on to your horse. Now, hiatus of so many years, actually, still I've never learned to ride a horse.
As I was scrolling through Instagram, I got to know that Titanic never sank. Oh my God, what's that now? I don't know if anyone has seen that news. I just saw today. It was some Olympic. The ship name was Olympic. How can Olympic and they said Titanic and this Olympic ship look similar. And exactly the shipwreck, what happened was of Olympic. But no one knows about Titanic. They are saying Titanic is still there. It never sunk and it has been changed to the name of Olympic and it is still in function. I couldn't believe. Then I thought, let me hold my horse back. And I couldn't even come out of it because that is such a tragedy. Because ever since Titanic sank and so many people died, and now they are revealing it never sank. Such a shocking news. Can you believe it?
I don't know what these people are talking about. Where are they getting these ideas from, man? This is ridiculous. I just want to go back to our president. All of us have that mongoose in life. Forget horses and Titanic and books and authors. And I don't know where they're coming out of this, wearing slippers and going to the beach. All of us have snakes in life. But all of us need mongoose, okay? Not what they're talking about. And Amazon can't deliver this. And friends, the snakes in your life, it could be your spouse, it could be your manager, it could be a tape topic master, man. Ridiculous topics. And that's when the mongoose comes. And you see blood in the mongoose, don't kill the mongoose, man, because it protects you from the snake. You need such mongooses. I don't know what these people are talking about. So friends, anytime you get fed up, please don't send the mongoose out of your life. Snakes are everywhere, all around. And those mongooses protect you, right? So please, be honest, take care of mongoose because they'll bite the snake in your life and you live peacefully. That's what really matters. Be pragmatic, be realistic.
I think I have very little to add to what my enlightened friend just now told. But like they say, all's well that ends well. I think we need to live life in such a way that, it's a great life that we would have led. And that's what we want to leave our memories with. Live the world with a great legacy. And so, to sum it up, to round it up, as you've seen, we've gone topsy-turvy, right from the books to thinking and then we've generally actually ridden quite far away, as well as we've encountered mongoose and snakes and everything. But I think at the end of it, let's resolve to live peacefully, to respect each other and have a great life together. Over to you.
I am so glad that I am the TT master today, because I am sure some of them is going to take revenge on me and I will have to take a hiatus. So the next topic is what makes someone a hero? What makes someone a hero? I invite Distinguished Toastmaster Teresa. What makes someone a hero?
Here is a hero. Why you have to make when hero is in front of you? Who has the courage when the TT master calls and come here and speak for 2 minutes, and today is only 1 minute. Jokes apart. Hero is the one who loves himself, who leads himself and leads even others. Hero is the one who takes whoever falls, makes them to rise up, stand on his feet and look and follow whatever the society or the world is asking for. Hero is the one who helps the neighbor, and hero is the one who is the member of this Bangalore Toastmasters Club.
Tamil, please note the time is 1 minute. Okay, for the remaining speakers. The next topic is how do you define success? How do you define success? Toastmaster Girish. Toastmaster Girish, how do you define success?
Success, in my view, is basically accepting yourself and to come out of this sort of perfectionist thought process one could probably have, and embrace what you are doing and go forward and achieve that goal what you want to. And in the process, you try to help all the one who would be you are responsible for. Could it be nature? Could it be people? This is what I believe. And when I say this, in my purview, what I'm able to do in small event is, I'm basically a calibration engineer, so I do work with automobile vehicles and do emission calibration. So in this process of my work, I try to do the best emission calibration so that we don't emit too much of emissions onto the road. And this is where I see my purpose, and this is how I see I am doing some sort of success to the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Girish. The next topic is what makes a person beautiful? What makes a person beautiful? Toastmaster Dr. Nisha.
Good evening, Toastmasters. Hello, sorry.
It's okay.
Well, good evening, Toastmasters. Good evening to a beautiful evening. Beautiful is actually a beautiful word. Beautiful is very different to all the different people. For some people, aesthetics is beauty. Aesthetics is beautiful. Some people, being happy is beautiful. Some people, many things. Beautiful is actually can be defined in many ways, but what makes one beautiful would be inner happiness, inner peace, and being satisfied in whatever you have, smiling, making others smile, helping others, And being beautiful inside out makes a person beautiful. That is actually to me as beautiful.
Thank you, Dr. Nisha. The next topic is, when is love a weakness? When is love a weakness? Toastmaster Chiran. Toastmaster Chiran, when is love a weakness?
Yeah, similarly to the beauty, it's in like other people's perspective. When is love a weakness? So it depends on a person. So for me, a love is never a weakness. So it's about the person you choose. It may be anything. It's not about love, maybe between a father and son, or between like siblings, or anything. So it's about them, like how much the love you show to them, they have to return it back to you, at least a fraction of it. So otherwise, it's not something that's worth investing time and all those things. Yeah, in a family environment, it's different perspective. Like you have to invest time and love and everything. So even if you're not getting it. But on the other scale, and the friendship scale and all those things, there is a limit where you can invest it. So otherwise, I don't think it's a worth or anything. So we have to move on. So there is a life that which teaches us many things, and like we have to look for the people like where we like what we say. We actually have a same thought process where we can embrace each other.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chiran. The next topic is, what gives your life meaning? What gives your life meaning? Toastmaster Gaurav.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. So the topic is what gives my life a meaning. For me, the thing which gives meaning to my life is to showing up for people who trust in me, like who put their faith in me and then delegate anything like their dreams, their achievements, or anything which they wanted to pursue but couldn't, and they think that I would be able to achieve that. Like my parents, manager at work, friends, and like colleagues. So to showing up for someone who relies on you and doing your best to achieve whatever is required in that situation, that gives meaning to my life, and I would be trying to pursue that further as well. Over to you.
Next topic is, what is the best part of growing older? What is the best part of growing older? Toastmaster Nakanathan. What is the best part of growing older?
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. What gives you growing older? According to me, the experience in the life is the thing which we can learn in the daily basis. Every day is a new experience in our life. In every day we can learn one or the another new things. By gaining that knowledge, we can transform another's lives as well as we can guide them what to do and what not to do, and we can share our experience with our fellow mates and our relatives. And by that, by sharing our experience, they do not repeat our same mistake which we did in our lifetime. That's what I think we can learn from our experiences through age. Thank you.
The last topic for the evening. Is it important to love or to be loved? Is it important to love or to be loved? Toastmaster Rahul. Is it important to love or to be loved?
think we have to choose to be loved, because if we just keep giving love to everyone, nothing will come back. I remember somebody once told me that if you are emotional and if you just be sad on one thing, you'll end up being wasting your entire summary of your life or whatever in just bad thoughts and misery and into a very, into basically a rabbit hole. You just lost and you don't know what you're doing. I think as humans, we all have a conscience. We are born with love. We have to give love, but we need to learn how to limit it, how to control it, and going in the right direction can help us through experiences, hardship, meeting snakes and mongooses. Summarizing everything, I think it's better to earn love than to give more. So yeah, thank you.
I think we'll take one more topic. That is the last topic. What do you think is worth waiting for? What do you think is worth waiting for? Toastmaster Himani. What do you think is worth waiting for?
I think patience is one big virtue, and anything that is really important to you is definitely worth waiting. That's what I believe. It is better to wait it out, wait and watch. Be it any situation in life. Let's say if you're trying to achieve something, if you have a certain goal. It's important to really have a plan in place and plan it out, have concrete actions in place, to have set timelines and then work towards your goals. And it's totally worth it to wait it out and give it time. Thank you.
Our applause for Toastmaster Himani. She really had her horses. So that's the end of the double topic session. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day, Aditya. Thank you so much.
Guys, what do we give table topic master? Please come on. Now, hold your horses, people. Hold your horses. We have one last segment to go to this meeting. The evaluation session, as I mentioned at the beginning of this meeting today, that an evaluation session is where for all the three prepared speakers and for individual role takers, the GE and her tag team will be giving us points to improve upon. So welcoming the GE for today, DDM, Sumitra, Manmohan. Can I have a round of applause?
When I looked at the theme today, it struck me that holding your horses, having patience and composure. And evaluation is all about, being patient, listening, and then evaluating. So it's the approach with which evaluation is done that suits this theme, isn't it?
Yep. Yes.
So welcome to the evaluation session. And in keeping with the tradition of Bangalore Toastmasters Club, our Sergeant at Arms started on the dot. Thank you for that. And I also like the way you called people beforehand that we are going to start the meeting. And the energy you had in the voice was really wonderful. For a moment I was wondering whether you had a mic. Yeah? But well done, because that's the way it should take off. Yeah? And I think it's only three meetings old, and you're doing very well. Keep it up, and you tried. I mean, you had a good enough theme a story for the theme, and you also introduced the president well. If I were to make some suggestion, I would say try, because now you're going to mention this, the etiquette that we need to mention. So try and bring in some creativity into that, because then it will become boring for you, it will be boring for the members as well. It's only that small, but you're on the right track. Keep it up. Keep up that energy, and you'll definitely give a good start to the meeting. Yeah, well done. We next had our president. The president's story was really, very apt, very motivating, and very apt for the theme today. And you also, brought it out very well. What I would suggest is if you can connect somewhere to Toastmasters. Yeah? And now what you need to work on is, I found your gestures a little stiff, so make it a little more, relaxed. It will make you a little warmer also. Yeah? Because you're trying to motivate the audience. Otherwise, well done. Let's give the president a big I'll come to our TMOD later. Yeah? Let's get on to the prepared speech session. Our first speaker was Sampath Kumar, and to evaluate him we had Hannah. May I call upon Hannah to give us our feedback.
A very good evening once again, my dear fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
And in particular to Toastmaster Sampath Kumar. What you intended to accomplish in your speech was to present a very well-organized speech and with a defined purpose. So what you did well was a good opening to the speech. Yes, you gave us a brief introduction about your health earlier, your weight, and the title of your speech was also very relevant to the entire speech. Then coming to the body of your speech, then the body was all about running. Okay, you started off with giving us the disciplines, what you adopted to run. Okay, and this was basically, from what I understand, was a persuasive and an inspiring speech. You persuaded the audience to get into the habit of running, and you're inspiring because you yourself are an example of what you're speaking about. You also you gave the audience what you did in terms of discipline, your eating habits, how your stretching exercises and your sleeping habits helped for you to pursue the running. And you also gave us the benefits of the sport. You gave us about your weight loss and how it helped you in your decision making. And my recommendations for the speech would be, soon after you took on to the stage, you thanked the TMOD. Not necessary, because that dilutes your speech. Yes? So you can straight start off with your speech, because he's already introduced you, we've already welcomed you. Yes? So you can start off. And the second recommendation would be on the body of the speech. Somewhere down the line, I think you went back and forth. So you came to, you introduced your disciplines and then went back into benefits and then again came back to your discipline. Yeah, so a little bit of structure in your body of your speech is what I would recommend. And more practice. The moment you don't bring papers or your mobile to the speech. to your stage, because though you may have rehearsed the speech 100 times, the moment you bring that, psychologically you feel you're going to forget. And I've done it. I've not done it twice, thrice. I've done it a million times that I've forgotten my speech only because I had this in front of me. Yeah. So even if you forget, you forgot. Leave it. You will get the next sentence when you know you have nothing to hold on to. Yeah. I would go back to your personal experience, which you gave us that how you benefited overall with that and inspired all of us. And also your concluding statement was good in terms of how running is an overall your physical well-being. It's a good aspect to your life. So thank you very much for giving that thing to us, discipline to us, and wishing you all the best for your further speeches. Okay.
Thank you, Hannah, for that great feedback. And one tip, not only for Sampath but everyone, the audience doesn't know your script. So please don't worry if you've forgotten something. Just carry on. As long as you're familiar with the content, you can carry on. Yeah? As Hannah rightly said, if it's there in front of you, you try to depend on it. So with that, let's move on to the second speaker, a DTM, and we have another DTM, Rajdeep Manwani, to evaluate.
In Toastmasters, PSR is taboo, politics, sex and religion, but for Gangadhar it's not taboo. So we'll start off with a very interesting speech which Gangadhar Krishna gave today on my PSR. So let me take those three words and try and evaluate your speech, sir. P for the passion and the purpose which you brought. You had a passion of talking about customer service and how you taught that, and that was evident throughout your speech. And there was a purpose for your speech, that you wanted people to help and bring out that purpose in their life also. And it was not only a personal social responsibility, the purpose was that I have to do this for the benefit of so many people and the community at large, and what we can give back. So there was the passion, there was the purpose. The second thing, the S, was a very, very straightforward storytelling narrative. You were very straightforward. You said that, when there is a purpose and when there is action, you don't even have to prepare for your speech. So you were very straightforward, you were very, very simple. You narrated the incident which happened in Dubai. So it came out very sincerely. So there was straightforwardness, there was sincerity with the S. So you had the purpose, you had the sincerity, you had the straightforwardness. Now what do you improve? That's the R. Now there were two things in the R context which I want you to improve on, sir. The first was the range. I think the range comes in a speech with your dialogues. So might be you could have initiated a dialogue. I went to the consulate and they told, yeah, we can help you. But we don't know what we can do. We'll suggest you an NGO. Might be you could have suggested somebody whom you met. So bring out dialogues. When you bring out dialogues, the range and the voice modulation becomes better. And that can add to the right ending, which I also wanted to bring out in your speech. The right ending. Because you said, can you suggest me some places where I can train people? Why are you making it about yourself? Make it for everybody. My PSR is to serve customer service. What is yours? Find out. When you train a man to fish, he can learn for a lifetime. When you give a man a fish, he learns only for a day. So why don't you make the topic, my PSR is, what about yours? ... So make it about other people rather than only about my PSR. So that would have given a right ending, that would have given a call for action. But for your excellent sincerity, for your passion, for your purpose, and for your love to serve community, you deserve a big applause. Just a little bit of dialogue, just a bit of dialogue and range, and just making it a subject for all would have made you the best DTM after me.
Yeah, thank you Rajdeep for that really powerful feedback, and also DTM Balchandra, yeah. Gangadhar, sorry. Sorry about that.
Right name, right?
No, but I don't know, I was still wondering what my PSR stood for. It didn't come out very clearly, right? I don't know if the others have followed, but you know, what it stands for did not come out. You know, you said, give time, give happiness. Your tagline came out, but what it stood for was not very clear to me. I don't know what about the others, whether it came out. Okay. The third speaker, let me call upon the evaluator, Sudhir.
Thank you, Sumitra. Fellow Toastmasters, guests, and Jeevan in particular. Jeevan, top marks for a very engaging speech with loads of humor. You had a very creative opening where you recreated this dialogue, which a typical sales call has, and then you followed it up with a very rhetorical question. So immediately got the audience's attention, and with people, you know, we waited for the answers, people popped in with some answers with that, right? So your engagement quotient with the audience was complete. 10 on 10 on the overall. Moving on to the body of your speech, you narrated 2 offers which you took up. Again, I felt narration was very good. You had good eye contact on both sides of the stage. Reasonably good hand gestures because you locked up one of your hand with this pointer, right? So only the other hand was moving, but I think that was done very well. Post that is where I felt the speech lost a bit of tempo, where you know you got the credit card bill, but you went into details of reading up each line, which all of us are very well familiar with. So I thought you lost a tempo a little bit after that. Your closing, again, with a reasonable call to action, what we should be doing to avoid, again, that was good. So overall a good speech. But, and that's the big but, and that's the elephant in the room, right? The speech called for enhancing the speech with slides, right? I saw a grand total of 1, maybe 2 slides there to enhance your speech. You definitely took held your horses on this slides part. So that's what I would say. I'm not sure, maybe there was a technical issue, or maybe there was an issue with coordinating with the other person here. But please do look into that, and I would actually highly encourage you to incorporate a few more slides and maybe repeat the speech in some other club. However, from his speech per se, leaving aside the slides part, it was hugely engrossing for me, and going by the audience's reaction to the speech, all of the audience loved your speech. So congratulations on your speech. Looking forward to more speeches from a smiling assessor.
Thank you, Dr. for your feedback, and Jeevan for that great speech of yours. Let's give both of them a big round of applause. Now, before I go on to my tag team, I'll just give my feedback on the TMOD. Yes, Aditya, you were full of energy, and it's really admirable that you could maintain that level of energy and the voice also at that level. I'm really amazed at how your energy has not come down, but since we always speak about voice modulation, I would challenge you to try speaking a little softer also at times, and maybe that will bring in more variety in your delivery. Okay? Because always at the full volume. You better get used to it. You're not married. You better get used to it, because then you have to come with it. So that's one suggestion. The other suggestion as a TMOD, don't go just by messaging to us what's your take on the team, what's your for the hierarchies. You saw it became repetitive and monotonous. I would suggest pick up the phone, speak to people, you definitely get some better insight into the people, so that you bring out something that is not known to the audience. And sometimes the introduction becomes so interesting, the person himself feels, is that me? Yeah, so try and bring in that element. And the other thing for improvement, no doubt you have the confidence, energy and all that. I found you shifting a lot on the stage. So do the movement with meaning, just like how the other DTM does it, very, meaningful. So then that becomes a little this. And like, that contrast between Gangadhar's voice and your voice was so much. So try it out. Yeah, otherwise, well done, keep it up, good round of applause. Coming to my tag team. It was very interesting. I tried to find out the meaning of Taran, and it turns out to be thunder in the Gaelic language, which he himself didn't know. And he's going to give his report, because if you're not on time, it will steal the thunder of your speech.
I think a common question for most amateur Toastmasters is this: who times the timer? Yes. So I would like to thank everyone for maintaining the time. I would like to especially thank TM Gangadhar for stopping exactly at 7 minutes. Thank you DTM Rajdeep for giving us 50 seconds and TM Sudipto for giving us 20 seconds. However, I would like to note TM would be Aditya, you have taken away 3 minutes. Yes. Thank you all.
Yeah, one suggestion to Taran: when you're leaving the stage, hand it back to the CMOD, I'm sorry, the GE or whoever's there. Okay, shake hands and leave. Next, we have a teacher, seasoned teacher. Teachers are leaders, leaders are teachers. And I'm sure she had taken down meticulously the counting. She would have done it meticulously. And what a coincidence, we all have 3 of them who are into mathematics.
Here I am with my counter report. Those who had less than 5 hours, Toastmaster Kolapan, Gaurav, Rahul, Toastmaster Hannah, Girish, Nisha, all had less than 5 hours. More than 5, around 5 to 10 hours, Toastmaster TMOD Aditya, Toastmaster Sampath Kumar, and Toastmaster Sampath Kumar had 5 short pauses and 2 short pauses and 2 long pauses. The favorite clutch words of today's meeting were and. Girish used and 5 times. Toastmaster Chiran used so and like around 5 times. The word and you know were used by many speakers on and off, but overall it was a great meeting. It was a disappointment for the counter, but it was a great meeting with many flawless speakers. President Toastmaster Shashank, TM Gangadhar, Toastmaster Jeevan, Shri Kumar, Jayanand, Toastmaster Melvin, Toastmaster Sharma, TM Teresa, TM Rajdeep, TM Sumitra ma'am.
And now to our ever energetic grammarian of the day, Brian, who's really dressed up for the occasion.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Good evening. As a grammarian, as I mentioned before, I have to record the good and the not so good usages as well as record the usage of the word of the day. So, coming to good usages, spiraling, hold your horses, give a man fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man fish, you feed him for a lifetime. Fitness is not a choice, but a need. Hats off to Roshi. All's well that ends well. Beautiful is a beautiful word. Teachers are leaders, leaders are teachers. And the not so good usages would be said to me can be converted to told me, did not get enough sleep, lack of sleep, work at the fullest, work to the fullest, heading back to home would be heading back home, how things has happened would be how things have happened. So most of the bad usages in today's meeting were due to addition of articles in your sentences. But coming and a round huge of applause to all the table topic speakers, because as Aditya told, blabbering today has reduced the number of bad usages in English grammar. And coming to the number of the word of the day used today, so hiatus was used 9 times by DTM Gangadhar, Toastmaster Vijayanand, Toastmaster Merlin, Toastmaster Sheik, and 5 times by Toastmaster Aditya. Next time when I'm writing the board, right, I would strike out the word theme and put SOD, sentence of the day. So hold your horses were used more than 15 times today. I think compared to the notes previously, the theme has not been used this often. Yeah. So yeah, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Brian, for your report. Yes, I think this was a record number of times the theme was used. And now coming to the table topic, Master Sheik, yeah, wonderful topics, I would say, and I like the mix of people that you called up. And the first round was, I have a feeling you didn't expect it to go that way. Yeah, there was no hold on the imagination, I would say. Everyone went wild with whatever they wanted to speak. But anyway, it was fun in one way because no one knew what was happening. It was real fun, hilarious. Yeah, so we need it once in a way, don't we? So well done on that, because sometimes that is what happens in table talking. You don't know where it will go. So that's how the actual session also, we had no control. We couldn't hold our horses there. It just went wild. Anyway, it was fun on the whole. Yeah, and I'm grateful. It was nice to see the energy before the meeting. And I think that energy made up for the lack of attendees, so the committee needs to work a little on that. First time I found the timer come and tell me this is my time, this is when I will this, and it has kept us, on our toes regarding time, a good effort at that. Keep it up, because that's our tradition of beginning on time, ending on time. So well done. Preparations for the meeting also have started well in time. Keep it up. Yeah. And we have to remain the best, right? So I would ask you all to stand up. All to stand up for little activity. I will say all the best, and then you repeat that, all the best. We are the best, the second sentence. And the last one is, I am the best, in a slightly lower tone. Yeah? All the best.
All the best.
We are the best.
We are the best.
I'm the best.
I am the best. You are the
And
best.
Bangalore Toastmasters Club, always be the best.
Be the best. That was a quick round robin. That was another session of round robin.
Thank you, DDM Sumitra, for such an amazing general evaluation session. What do we give DDM Sumitra for such an amazing session? Toastmasters, the link has been floated. Your password is patience. All small, patience. Patience, P-A-T-I-E-N-C, patience.
The noun.
Yeah. With that, my time on stage comes to an end today. Thank you all, especially the committee, for giving me this opportunity. I had an amazing time. I hope you all did too. Yes?
Yes.
Cool. Handing back the stage to President Toastmaster Shashank Gupta.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aditya. Can we have a big round of applause to all the speakers and role takers? Brilliant effort by all of them. So 3 announcements, repeating the same announcements which were done the previous 2 weeks. First, regarding the membership renewal for the members of our club. As we are aware, Toastmasters International has hiked the membership fees from 1st of August for the term October to March 2024. So if you have to avail the benefit of the existing rate, you have to pay up by 31st of July. So we have set a deadline of 29th of July to give us some breathing space for the treasurer to pay to TMI. So please make sure you have renewed for the month of October 23 to March 24 by 29th of July. Second is for the guests. We have a program called Speech Craft. It's a fast-track public speaking training program for 8 weeks. More details will be shared by our VP membership Toastmaster Jose Paul after the meeting is done. The program starts on 6th of August. It's an 8-week program starting from 6th of August. Third announcement is again repetition. We have a fast feed-forward form wherein we are looking for suggestions and recommendations from the members of our club and their expectations for the term. And I'm happy to note we already have got many responses and we have started to implement many of them during our club meetings as well. Right? Now with the awards results are in. Let us start with the Best Evaluator Award. The Best Evaluator Award goes to DTM Rajdeep Manwani.
The best DTM award.
The Best Table Topic Speaker Award. Again another DTM Vijayan.
We need mongoose.
The Best Role Taker Award. I think it's a nice trend now. DTM Sumitra. The Best Auxiliary Role Taker Award goes to, okay, there is a change, Toastmaster Brand. Toastmaster Brand for the
Future DTM.
That's a nice way to put it across. Future DTM. The Best Speaker Award. Guess what? We have the trend back. DTM Gangadhar. Thank you very much. We have 4 DTM winners this week. Is it a record? We'll have to check. Now, before we adjourn this meeting, we have a business meeting where only members are supposed to be inside the hall. Members can come back to us once again, attend the meeting once again next week. But we are not letting you run away. To address all your queries, we have our VP membership Toastmaster Jose Paul meeting you outside the hall. You can discuss with him, talk to him about the memberships, about the Speechcraft program, any issues you have regarding Toastmasters. He'll be happy to help you. So we'll have a 2-minute short break just to reseat. I request all the members to meet Toastmaster Jose Paul outside the meeting. Sorry, all the guests to meet Toastmaster Jose Paul outside the meeting, and members to stay back for the business meeting for the budget for the time. Thank you very much. We'll resume in 2 minutes.